Yes.
Okay. Since I sit as the chairperson for board policy, I just want to let everyone know that board policy 004 addresses the school code under the board policy manual. New board members are entitled to receive upon their swearing in the school code, the board policy manual, the administrative regulation manual, the current budget, the audit report, the new comprehensive plan, board's code of conduct and standards for effective school governance under board policy 011. All of those things are available to new board members and anybody else, either on the district's website or on the PSBA website. And I want to quote a few things from PSBA about new board members. The board operates on a continuum. In essence, it's like stepping on a moving train. It's important to know where it's been and which direction it is going. Generally, to help ease the transition, the board president assigns mentors to new board members with more experienced colleagues. The amount of information you need to learn is like drinking from a fire hose. Learning the governance role of the board, district financials, policies, the comprehensive plan, the constraint of federal and state regulations, and on and on and on. Some people think sitting on the board is only 2 meetings a month. It is much more than that. You probably spend a minimum of 6 to 8 hours a week, either in meeting or reading documents from PSBA or legislation that's going on either the state or the federal level. Not only that, if you sit on this school board, you also have to sit on one of the other boards that the board has representatives to. So, that's what I'd like you all to know before we move any further.
Thank you, Mrs. Keeler.
Will the secretary please call the roll of all holdover members? Those holdover members are those who are incumbents to the board who have not just been reelected or elected to the office. Mrs. Gigo? Here. Mrs. Fisher?
Here.
All present. And we'll welcome the members of the public to this, our reorganization meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to officially announce the election of newly elected members of the board and to organize the new coming year with the permanent president, vice president of the board. We will also have them sworn in by our guest of honor, who is Honorable Judge Ross this evening. The first order of business is to elect a temporary chair for president to preside over this portion of the reorganization meeting. It is the practice of the board for the solicitor to serve in that role unless there is an objection. If hearing none, I thank you for that. I'm going to now read the certificates of election that have been provided to me by the board secretary. These are the official Beaver County Board of Election certificates of election. So the first, we, the undersigned members of the County Board of Elections of the county hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the second day of November 2021 in said county, it appears that Kelly Ramasco was duly elected to the office of school director in Ambridge Area School District for a term of 4 years in the county aforesaid. Next, the certificate of election, we, the undersigned members of the County Board of Elections of said county, hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast in the municipal election held on the second day of November 2021 in said county, it appears that John Carpenter was duly elected to the office of school director in Ambridge Area School District for a term of 4 years in said county aforesaid. Next, the certificate of election, we, the undersigned members of the County Board of Elections of said county, hereby certify that after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the second day of November 2021 in said county, it appears that Matthew Zachi was duly elected to the office of school director in Ambridge Area School District for a term of 4 years in the county aforesaid. And finally, but not least, the certificate of election, we, the undersigned members of the County Board of Elections, as the county hereby certify after tabulating the votes cast at the municipal election held on the second day of November 2021 in the county. It appears that Amy Fixco was duly elected to the office of school director at Ambridge Area School District for a term of 4 years in the county aforesaid. Having been in receipt of these certificates of election and noting their validity, we now ask that those duly elected board members who have not previously been sworn in, please rise and take the oath of office administered by the Honorable Judge Ross.
Good evening. My name is Jim Ross, and it's indeed my honor to be here. I'd like to thank the work of asking me to be here. I hope you don't mind to take my mask off so I can speak. It is truly an honor for me because I'm a resident of the Shoe District. I reside in County Borough, and I know from my years in practice as a lawyer what the school board does. It is a thankless job. And I'd like to commend those people who are already on this work that we work with, for those incoming who are taking on this task, because it is indeed an important one, especially in these times. So in administering the oath, I wish you luck and success, not only as board members, but as now, what I would ask is that each of you raise your right hand and then repeat after me. I state your name. You solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Okay, to complete this now, what I'm going to do is give each one of you your oath, ask you to sign and date on the signature line at the top. And then after you have done that, I will sign as the person who administered the oath to make this official for me.
And I will note that School Director Amy Fixco has previously administered the oath of office, executed it, and filed it with the Board Secretary. I am in receipt of that. She is with us here this evening remotely, and she will be able to fully participate in our proceedings this evening.
Yes, this goes right in my courtroom, so. Okay, thank you. You are now official, and I think I'll provide these to the solicitor. You can take it from here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Where's your pen back? Thank you all, and good luck. Have a nice day.
To congratulate our new board members, I will also note that those three who are with us this evening, additionally each won a 2-year term to the school board, having been sworn in this evening and having accepted and taken the oath of office for the 4-year term, for which they also won. We will acknowledge that there are 3 vacancies in the board, and we'll address those later, and do have the certificates of election that go along with those. So with those procedural components out of the way, and this is the point of the meeting where the board will vote and consider a new board president. As a temporary president, I will now open the floor to nominations for the office of president.
I'd like to nominate Kathy Bishop.
Are there any other nominations?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Kelly Romasco.
Mrs. Fisher just indicated to me that she kindly declines the nomination for board president. The slate at this time is Director Romasco. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, is there a motion to close nominations and to elect Kelly Ramasco as school board president?
Yes.
Is there a motion?
Yes.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of closing nominations and electing Kelly Ramasco as the board president, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations, President Ramasco. Would you like him to continue as vice president? And so with that, we have next the position and the election of the vice president of the Ambridge Area Board of School Directors for the 2022 term. I will declare the nominations now open. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Amy Fitzgill.
So it's noted. Are there any other nominations for school board vice president?
I'd like to nominate Mary Jo Keegan.
Kehoe has been added to the slate of candidates. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, we will close the nominations. In the event that we have more than one candidate for these positions, I ask, we'll move through each. The first to receive a majority of votes of those currently sworn in will be the next vice president. The first is Amy Fitzgill. I'll ask the board secretary to do a roll call. Mr. Carpenter?
Yes.
Mrs. Fitzgill?
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe? No. Mrs. Ramasco?
Yes.
Mr. Zachi?
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher?
No, and I just want to clarify, my reason for voting that way is no offense to Amy at all, but I think it's of utmost importance to have somebody with the multitude of board experience as Mrs. Kehoe has, and electing all new members to that executive board will make things very difficult. So that is my reason for voting no.
And with that, motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Fitzgill, Vice President of the Board of School Directors. Next on the agenda this evening is the election of the treasurer. Under the school code, typically this is a position that runs from July 1st through June 30th. It's the district's practice to vote in advance of that term. So I just want that clear for anyone who is interested in the position. This position whoever is elected to this position will begin this work on July 1st, 2022. So with that, I will open the slate for the nominations for the treasurer of Ambridge Area Board of School Directors for the 2022-23 school year.
I'd like to nominate Matthew Zachi.
Mr. Zachi is noted. Are there any other nominations?
Mrs. Kehoe, do you have an interest in that treasurer position? I will nominate you.
No, I don't. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing none, is there a motion to close nominations and to elect Mr. Zachi as the treasurer for the 2022-2023 school year? Motion? Motion is made. Is there a second?
I second.
Motion has, I believe it was Ms. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Motion, thank you. The motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is the schedule in place for regular board meetings for January 2022 through November 2022. This list of proposed dates and times, and it also notes the reorganization meeting. Sunshine law requires that we advertise all of our meetings. We typically do this in one large advertisement. When necessary, we make adjustments through additional legal advertisements through the course of the year. So with that, is there a motion to adopt the list of scheduled meetings as presented?
So moved.
Motion has been moved by Ms. Kehoe. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on the motion?
The only comment I have to make is, I know on this reorganization, it did say it was down at the bottom media center, but in general, it's the high school. Some, so I don't know, sometimes it's cafeteria or bar. I don't know if that matters, but it's.
So if it's acceptable to Kehoe and that's a second motion. If you agree, you would amend just that final sentence to a reference to high school to provide flexibility as to location.
That's fine.
Okay. So with that friendly amendment noted, are there any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the meeting schedule as presented, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any motion carries. The next section on consultation briefly with the board in advance, and I'll turn to the board president. Is it the preference of the board in light of the 3 additional vacancies to be filled to hold this next list under appointment of board and committee representatives 1 through 5 and table those until next week? So noting that, is there a motion to table that section until next week's meeting? Mr. Carpenter has made that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I second.
All right. I think there are a couple that, if Cisco looks great up on the screen, so I'm going to give her that one. Is there any discussion on that motion to table? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. This brings us to adjournment. It's my understanding that the board has a need for a brief executive session prior to meeting to discuss meetings for the purposes of discussing personnel and matters subject to attorney-client privilege. Noting that, is there a motion to adjourn to executive session for those purposes?
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter has made the motion. Is there a second? Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning to executive session very briefly after saying hi to your loved ones, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those against? All right, thank you. So there'll be a brief recess, we'll adjourn to executive session, and then we'll come back and hold the meeting. Thank you.
That's for the regular monthly board meeting that will be held on September 15, 2021 at 7 p.m. Everybody please express
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening is being recorded for district purposes. It is going to be published in part or in its entirety on the district's website with the express permission of meeting participants. This is Neil. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Carpenter?
Here.
Ms. Fisco? Here. Mrs. Kehoe? Here. Mrs. Ramasco?
Here.
Mr. Jackie?
Here.
Mrs. Fisher?
Here.
All present.
Mr. Cooper, would you please assist to the next item?
I'd be happy to. Would the board wish to consider a motion to move the following items to a voting agenda? It is recommended, here is the item, 2021-2022 winter coach. It is recommended to approve the following individuals to fill designated winter coaching positions for the 2021-2022 school year at salary as per the terms of the collective bargaining agreement pending receipt of resist satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current and former employers to Act 168 screening, provided the school year allows and coaches can hold winter sports as normal. A singular addition, and that is for cheer. Callie Graziano, volunteer coach at a stipend of no remuneration as a volunteer. Is there a motion to move that item to a voting matter? Motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor of adding this to the agenda for this evening?
Aye.
So the agenda, Madam President, has been amended. As there are no other voting items this evening, it would be appropriate to open the floor briefly for public comment on this one voting item, separate and apart from the rest of your agenda. The vote, just this one vote, yep.
Desiree Conrad, Ambridge. In regards to that particular item, for that one, and as well as other items in the future, for any new board members coming on, can the public have some public discussion on that? Just for some explanation, and so just for transparency reasons. Thank you.
So just to speak on that briefly, many of the, we didn't make this a voting agenda per se because of the new folks coming on, trying to give them an opportunity to review the agenda, ask questions before they vote. Although one of these motions, the one that's been brought forward, it is quite important that we get that personnel in place as soon as possible as a volunteer coach to be able to help with our children. So that's a little bit of why. And the reason why there just isn't a voting, and I didn't have that one on there to begin with, wasn't sure until I had an opportunity to speak before whether or not they'd be in favor, and I didn't want them to be surprised the first day they got it. But anyway, they agreed that and supported the fact that we should approve that. Thank you.
Any other discussion on that item? Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Next, second.
Next, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you for assisting with that. Ms. Miller, is there any correspondence?
No correspondence.
And do you have any student teacher recognitions?
No recognitions to be made.
Okay. Moving on to presentations, Councilor at this moment.
Sure. I'll go ahead and cover one item that I did. It's not actually a presentation, but a little update in regards to the school resource officer that we've been discussing. Myself and Ms. Fisher did have a meeting prior to the Thanksgiving break with the mayor and police chief of the borough. They appeared to be in favor of getting an officer onboarded with us as soon as possible. We were in favor of that as well. But the way I understand it, I then received a call on Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. We had that meeting on Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, and they informed me that unfortunately the recommendation was not approved. So that's like, they would not be in favor of placing the officer there, and they would also not be in favor of the MOU at this given point. So that's the update as I have for you as the public influence. At this given point on that issue, again, we're hopeful that we will be able to work something out and get that in place as soon as possible. It's our willingness. I know Mrs. Fisher and I had that meeting. We thought that it was very productive, a good conversation, one that we were excited about. So at this given point, the level that we'll hear shortly. There will be some change in that, and we'll be able to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We want to open to public comment regarding agenda items only. At this time, district residents may come forward to comment on agenda items only. Each person must state their first and last name and address prior to speaking. Each resident will be allowed 3 minutes and can speak only once. This period of public comment prior to the standing committee reports will be limited to 1 hour. Although not required, board members are preparing to address questions or concerns may do so to the residents' comments and questions prior to conclusion of committee reports. Given no comment.
I know you guys asked for a public comment on all eyes, go on, I don't know if that's good or bad, but Desiree Conrad, Ambridge, in regards to, the new on the agenda, comment or, point of interest, from new, board members, the appointment, as well as, the new, board members who were just sworn in. I have a comment. I hope everyone, including parents, realize what you guys just swore into and you took an oath to. You took an oath to the Constitution of the United States, the Bill of Rights, the Pennsylvania Constitution. We didn't take an oath to PA code. We didn't take a code, or we didn't swear an oath to a handbook, to a curriculum. We took an oath to the Constitution, the law of the land. I hope we're acknowledging that, and I say that for parent comment as well. In regards to, and I'll be reiterating that over and over again, I'm sure. Under the presentations for the SRO update, I know that you guys are in works with the economy the economy police department. However, in the, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, the BELA framework, the BELE framework, part of the framework that's being instituted through the curriculum, part of it is to avoid hardening of schools, find alternatives to metal detectors or armed on-campus police. I don't have an opinion on campus police or metal detectors personally. I don't. Well, I do have an opinion, but it might not be a popular opinion because they could be violating constitutional rights. But I just pose for you guys to think about. A few years ago, the curriculum was asking you to institute these because it was going to make all the schools safer and all the schools better. Do this, they said. We're going to give you money to do this. Take the grant money to do this. Did it help? I don't know. Does anyone feel safer about it? I don't know. But now they're saying, guess what? That's the problem. We're hardening the schools. The people who are telling us, I have the solution, are the people who are creating the problem. It's full circle. We just keep doing the same thing. The federal government, this trickles right down. It can trickle down the facts. I hope you all can think about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. We have any other public comments? And I just want to say we will take all that into consideration. Obviously, this is our first meeting.
I know.
Here to
The last.
for your, yes,
How?
the written information we will discuss. Any other public comment on the agenda item? Seeing none?
but the cheer team field trip, is that going to be the cheer team field trip?
Can you see your name in here?
I'm sorry,
Sorry.
Teresa Ebert. Anything else?
Address.
396 Prospect Street.
Thank you.
Okay. The cheer team field trip that is on here, and I was wondering if that would be voted on tonight since it is so time sensitive.
So, yeah, I mean, we are going to discuss that when it comes up, but at this given point, I think as it's written on the motion, the board will have to consider that for an overnight trip as it's written. At this given point, there's no reimbursement per se from the school district. But the board is going to consider some things per our policy as whether they can give some small reimbursement for the registration. And if that does occur and if you decide they want to do that, that would be something that they would amend the agenda next week. But our intent would be to vote on this one way or another, and obviously we have on the agenda for next week.
All right, I was asking only because of everything being booked and things, the cost of things going up so tremendously every day that we wait. So if you can take it into consideration, it would be great.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment on agenda items? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Chair, would you mind reading the committee report for education and the board for tonight?
Sure. Education and technology, point of information, kindergarten and pre-K registration. Kindergarten registration will be held on the following dates from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the following locations. January 11th, Economy Elementary, January 12th, Highland Elementary, January 13th, State Street Elementary. Evening appointments available December 9th from 4 to 7:30 at the High School Media Center. February 8th from 4 to 7:30 at the High School Media Center. Please reach out to Kathy Hopkins at 724-266-2833 or via email at her email address with any questions. Any questions? Number 1, club formation. It is recommended to approve the formation of the ski club at the high school with the sponsor to be paid a stipend of $470. This club will be student funded, excluding the payment of the sponsor. Any questions? Cheer team field trip. It is recommended to approve the student attendance and application of the student discipline code for the high school varsity cheerleaders to travel to Walt Disney World to participate in the Universal Cheerleaders Association National High School Cheerleading Championship from February 10th through February 14th. All expenses will be obtained through fundraising. Parents and or guardians will be required to sign permission and release forms. Chaperones will be required to have current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Any questions? Number 3, wrestling field trip. It is recommended to approve the student attendance and application of the student discipline code for the varsity wrestling team to travel to Morrisville, PA on January 28th, 29th, 2022 to participate in the West Branch School District's wrestling tournament. No additional cost for the district. Any questions? Number 4, memorandum of understanding. It is recommended to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Ambridge School District and the Robert Morris University to include the Advanced Placement Literature and Composition, RMU Elite 10. Any questions? Number 5, memorandum of understanding. It is recommended to approve a memorandum of understanding between Central State University and the Ambridge School District for the purpose of field and clinical experiences for Central State University students. Any questions? That concludes the report.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop. Ms. Keith, would you advance the motion?
Under finance budget, item number 1 is the school district monthly bills and salaries, and they are listed. Questions on those? Item number 2 is cafeteria monthly bills and salaries, also listed on the agenda. Item number 3 is tax exoneration on the following parcels, A and B. Are there any questions on that? Item number 4 is a budget transfer. questions on that one? That concludes the report.
Kansas State agent under buildings and grounds for public relations as a point of information. The board is soliciting interested candidates for a free board of soldier vacancies through legal advertising and internal posting with board consideration at December 15th meeting 2020 for the board meeting. Applications will be available on the district website beginning tomorrow, and there will be a discussion from the board as to if we would put a due date on that, maybe on Monday, December 13th.
Again, this is where
She was asking if, I think she was asking if you want a due date of Monday, December 13th. Is that what you were asking?
I agree.
Sorry.
All right, so we will take a full vote to amend that motion to add the deadline to December 13th. Ms. Newell?
Also, just so.
Sorry, Larry. Thank you.
Yeah.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion. There's the paper steering rules for tonight's meeting. And there's nothing under legislative. Ms. Miller, could you please read this in general, please?
The Board of School Directors held an executive session on Wednesday, December 8th, to discuss personnel matters, matters subject to attorney-client privilege and other confidentiality laws, and sensitive public safety issues.
Thank you very much. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Any questions? Hearing none, motion is adjourned.